Thank you very much indeed, Charlie. And what has finished? West Ham 3, Genk 0. Unbelievable. I say unbelievable. Probably not unbelievable, particularly not when we said it might be sort of 5-1 or 3-1 in a build-up, but a very, very welcome win. Absolutely outstanding, actually. We didn't have it all our own way. And let me just say at the start of this video that I think this was the best team we've played in our group. So that we've now played everybody once. This was the best team. They caused us problems from the start, but yet we still came through and we won 3-0. We're not conceded a goal in the group, by the way, which is well worth well worth saying and well worth enjoying. Just absolutely delighted tonight, and you'll hear an awful lot about Daniel Chester's came on as a with 2 or 3 minutes remaining, and he was roundly cheered by the crowd as he put in a couple of crunching tackles and got a couple of touches. So that was absolutely delightful to get a young player on the pitch at the end. And we did wonder in the build-up if that might happen. If we were in control of the game, we were massively in control of the game by that point. So well done. Well, it's a big day for Daniel Chester's, big day for his family. Well done, Daniel. Right, okay, let's get on with the game. Genk actually, I say Genk started well. We started well. West Ham started very well indeed. We had control, we had possession. We're starting to see a pattern emerge from West Ham now, and this new incarnation of West Ham under David Moyes, which is when we play some of the big teams, we sit back and we hit on a counter-attack, but now we seem to have a reputation. And there are a lot of teams. We saw it against Everton. We're seeing it a lot now where we have to deal with a reputation that we have. The reputation we have is that we're a good team. We deserve that reputation. We've earned it. But one of the byproducts of that is that teams will sit back against us. And this is what we saw in this game. Genk sat back. We had lots of possession. We were struggling to break them down, really. But where I thought Genk were different to some of the other teams were that they had a really good counter-attacking threat, it has to be said. They had a couple of fast players, but actually, I say a couple of fast players. That probably indicates they didn't have ability. They did, and there was one in particular. You'll know I'm referring to. It's got E2, O2. It wasn't O2, definitely not. You're not a phone company, is he? Ito, ITO. Good player, really good player. Fast, played on the shoulder, and played as a sort of right winger, but kept on getting in behind. Genk actually had the ball in the back of the net, and I feel by the letter of the law, it was offside. I think if it was us, if it was West Ham, let's be honest with you, his shoulder was marginally offside. We'd have been gutted if we'd have scored that; it'd have been ruled out. But by the letter of the law, it was offside. But I felt it was a sort of shot across the bows, in as much as they were saying we have a counter-attacking threat. Now, we got some corners, and what was really interesting about the way Genk were playing was that they left 2 guys up. So when West Ham had a corner, and so we had all our defenders up, Cresswell, Bowen swinging in the corners, that sort of thing, they left 2 players up. And what they just wanted to do was get the ball to them really, really quickly. And they left them a very, very high line. So they were dangerous from that. And I thought they were basically giving a statement of intent, which is you can have your corners, but we'll come and get you if you do. Really good. Very impressed with them. Areola did very well. In fact, they had a really good counter-attack. It's not that we weren't attacking at this point, but Genk had a really good counter-attack, and Areola had to rush off his line. So did very, very well to do that. They were a dangerous team. We had possession, but I certainly felt in that first half, you could tell we had a lack of a centre forward, certainly. But there was some decent deliveries going in on occasion, but you sort of felt that if anything was going to open up the Genk defence, it was going to be West Ham. It was going to be Cresswell, or it was going to be Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko looks to be he just looked good. He looked good as a sort of playmaker, if you like, dropping deep. All right, he had one shot, he blazed over. He tried to do his curling left-footed shot, but that was in the second half. In the first half, I thought Yarmolenko was really good. I really did. Cresswell was fantastic, and he was going to end up finishing the game with 2 assists. But really good, albeit no cutting edge. What was interesting, and we've heard a lot in the build up to this game, was Paul Anuchu, a huge giant centre forward that Genk got. Apparently, we were interested in him. I think it's agent talk. Having seen him in the flesh, there's no way we're interested in him. Not that he doesn't have qualities, he does, but there's no way he is mobile enough. I never expected him to be quick. I'm not talking about speed here. Fornals isn't quick, but he's mobile. He moves around a lot. This guy is not mobile at all. And I just couldn't see this guy playing in David Moyes' system. That being said, he posed issues. He posed problems. He's a good player in the air. He was good at holding up the ball. But this is where I'm going to give a lot of credit to the centre halves here. I thought Diop and Dawson dealt with him really well, and they had a different combination to deal with because you had the big lump up there, then these fast players in support. I thought our line was a little bit high at times, which allowed them to counter attack, but I felt we were going to go on and address that in the second half. But towards the end of the first half, Areola had a little flap. We were lucky to get away with that. So they weren't without their moments. Bowen missed a good chance. What I did feel was quite apparent was when West Ham had a corner, we didn't have not having Antonio. There was really interesting because we had nobody to annoy their goalkeeper. No one was basically doing a Kevin Nolan on their goalkeeper. And I was feeling at that point that was sort of making it a little bit easier for them at corners. It didn't prove to be so because just before half time, and at this point, I'm thinking David Moyes is going to bring them in here. David Moyes is going to give them a telling off, and we will come out in the second half better. Well, we did come out in the second half better, but we got a goal just before half time. And it was Dawson, that man Dawson. So this is now consecutive games from corners. Now, last season we had a reputation for it. We hadn't done so well this season. I suspected after the first one went in against Everton, we might go on a little run of them, and so it proved today. So Dawson, it was Cresswell corner, really good corner. Dawson sort of a looping header. I say header. I think either Dawson headed it down onto his own shoulder or onto the back of the Genk player, sort of looped in. You'd expect a little bit better from the goalkeeper, who I understand is a very good young up-and-coming goalkeeper. Didn't look it tonight, has to be said. But we went in 1-0 at half-time. Now, I was sort of thinking David Moyes was going to tweak things around anyway. Not really. Would have been pleased if he'd have carried on telling them off anyway, just to sort of. They were getting at us more than we'd like. Genk were attacking West Ham more than I would have liked at that point. But anyway, half-time, 1-0 to West Ham. I just want to say in celebration to this, down in below in the comments section, there's a link to the Hammers Chat shop for 24 hours. For 24 hours, there's 10% off in our shop. Go and check it out. The link's in the description below. You've got to use the discount code. Here's the thing. Use the discount code, which is Genk10. Okay? Genk10. All right. What I'm going to do is in the chat right now in this chat, I'm going to pop in. I'm not going to pop in the chat. I'm going to pop the code into the chat, which you should see right there. That's the Hammers Chat shop. It's in the live chat now. It's also in the link below. Put in a discount code Genk10 and you get 10% discount for 24 hours only to celebrate us 9 points out of 9 in the Europa League. So half-time, absolutely fantastic, right? Work to be done. But okay, 1-0 up, not a problem. I thought they came out, to be fair, in the second half, a little buzz about them. Again, really, but they conceded a needless free kick. I mean, it really was a needless free kick. Vlasic, who we'll talk about Vlasic in a minute. Vlasic got hacked down unnecessarily, really, on the left-hand side of the pitch, sort of Cresswell territory. And you don't want to be hacking someone down in Cresswell territory, particularly not when Aaron Cresswell is playing as well as he did today, by the way. Cresswell took the free kick, delivered it. Diop. Now, Diop scored with a header. More of a thunderous header than Dawson's one. But what I thought was key here, I thought this was quite symbolic, actually, because Diop got in the header and got in front of Anuchu. And I think that the significance of that is that you had this 6'7" attacker who Diop actually handled really well. And I think when you've got someone that big and that dominant in the air, I thought Diop dealt with him from a defensive point of view very well. But what he really did at this point was he put a cherry on the cake, basically. The cherry on the cake was by saying, look, not only am I going to defend well against you, actually, you're going to be marking me when we attack, and I'm going to out-jump you for this as well. Good finish, good headed finish. Both centre-backs scoring. Both centre-backs, well, obviously, I say both centre-backs getting a clean sheet. Everyone got a clean sheet. Even Daniel Chester's got a clean sheet. Oh, West Ham, you got a clean sheet. We're West Ham. We all got a clean sheet. But the two centre-halves obviously played a little bit more of a pivotal part than we did. So I just thought it was nice for them both to get a goal. Now, I've got to be honest, but when I'm doing these things, I'm writing notes down, right? I'm writing notes. I'm writing down basically the Diop speaking of no two to the header. At that point, Genk have kicked off. They played 2 or 3 passes. One of them was a bit of a lazy pass. Yarmolenko won the ball back, but it's sort of, as he won the ball back, it deflected it, and it sort of deflected in the path of Lanzini, who then fed Bowen. But this was, so I can't stress this hard enough. We just scored, Genk kicked off, and I think within 3 passes, we had the football back. I might have that wrong. It might have been 2, it might have been 4, but very quickly, we had the football back. Yarmolenko won the challenge, and basically, before you knew it, Jared Bowen's running at their defence. And when I say dribbled into the box, it wasn't like there was a lot. Clearly, they'd just kicked off, so they had a lot of players back. All their players were in their half. It's just been kick-off, right? But I don't feel he had to do a lot to sort of slalom his way through. Anyway, he got through. He got himself into a shooting position. You're West Ham fans, you know, it's Bowen. He wanted to shoot on his left foot. And that's what he did. Shot on his left foot. You got to say the keeper will think he should have done better. But if you don't buy a lottery ticket, you don't win the pools and all the rest of it. So it was so quick, though. It was such a quick goal. And it just really felt, and if you've been watching this, it felt like it was 1-0 and then it was 3-0. At that point, I mean, you're just thinking, okay, well, this is it. It's game over. And you've sort of gone from it at 1-0, it being a competitive match against, as I said, was probably the best team in the group. And West Ham, even though we're 1-0 up, we've got to be a bit careful to actually us being totally dominant and totally in control. Not good defending, not good goalkeeping. I'd say for any of their goals, okay? Let's be fair. But I think if you just looked at that, it wouldn't I wouldn't give a fair reflection of how well Genk played. They were decent enough. But you know, you've got to say we had a lot of players that weren't involved today. You know, Moyes made some changes. He rested some players, but he clearly was taking it very, very seriously with the inclusion of Declan Rice and Thomas Souček in the middle. Antonio's wrapped in cotton wool ahead of the Tottenham game, which is great. Look, Tottenham lost today in Europe, and I will talk about this tomorrow. I will talk about this in a video on the forum channel tomorrow, just about the context of winning in Europe, actually, and the importance of it. And you might look at these teams and look at Rapid Vienna and look at Genk and look at teams like that and think, well, okay, maybe we should be winning, but it's not a given. You know, Tottenham have played and they haven't won. They've gone and lost. It's not. I mean, Man U should have gone and beaten Young Boys. It's, you don't just because you're a Premier League team turn up and win. You've got to do it. So actually, to have 9 points, no goals conceded, is impressive. I'll talk about that in more detail. Substitutions were made, and the first raft of substitutions, 3 substitutions. Fredericks for Cresswell, so Fredericks went and played on left back. Noble came on for Declan Rice, and Fornals for. Actually, no, that was after. So the first, Fredericks and Noble were the first 2, and then there was a gap between the next 2. Clearly, they've done their job. Rice comes off, Cresswell comes off, absolutely fine. The flow of the game didn't initially change at that point. I think Genk was still hopeful of getting a goal back or doing something. It didn't last long, and then they took off their better players, including Ito, whatever his name is, the good one. They took him off. We made another pair of substitutions, which was Fornals for Vlasic and Ben Rama for Bowen. Bowen's run his, I was going to say run his arse off. He hasn't. He still has an arse. So he's, which is good. It's good news. We don't want any part of his anatomy missing, because you've got to feel that he'll be playing against Tottenham. And when I said Daniel Chester's came on, that was for Lanzini very, very late. He played 5 minutes tops, maybe 4 minutes, something like that. All round, bloody decent. I mean, 3-0. I want to say as well, 45,000. 45,000. I think it's really impressive. I've got to say, as someone that, you go to West Ham all your life, and, pack out Upton Park for whatever, 34,000, whatever it finished up being at capacity for big games. This is where I love it as fans. We're enjoying this European campaign. 45,000 is bloody impressive. When you look at some of the other clubs, and I'm talking about Chelsea and Tottenham here, some of the other London clubs, that maybe they've been spoiled. Maybe they've been spoiled the fact they play more European football than West Ham. But they get some low crowds for their European nights. I think it's really, really impressive for a club of West Ham size. 45,000 on a Thursday night against. Right, they played well, but it's not. We weren't playing Barcelona tonight. Put it that way. Really good, fair play. Chilly tonight as well. Bloody cold in that stadium, isn't it? As someone mentioned earlier. Yeah, massive respect, Daniel Chester's, as I said, really, really good. Let's get into a few of the players. Before I do, I've already mentioned the shop. Don't forget the link is below. I'll post that again. The Hammers Chat shop. Go and take a look. 10% off. Got to use the discount code Genk10. Also, one other thing, in the description below, we've got a fantasy football game, which is called Ultimate Fan. They're giving out cash prizes. Don't just register. Please use the link below. Now, come Hammers Chat. Don't just register. Play it. They're giving out £5,000 prizes each week. It's not so, it's on a week by week basis. There's people in this chat now who've won 50 quid, 30 quid, 100 quid, 80 quid. It's a really good app. Ultimate Fan app. Go and check it out in the link below. Players. Right. Okay. Centre backs I've already spoken about. Areola, that's it's going to be difficult, isn't it? Because obviously Fabianski did keep a clean sheet. Areola did a really good catch, did a good stop. And before he rushed out of his line in the first half was really good. Actually, when they had that counter attack, it was very good. But he also did a massive flap, and we were lucky that they didn't score from it. It seems like we can't have a goalkeeper doesn't flap. But all in all, look, it's a clean sheet. It's a clean sheet. I don't think there's a lot between the goalkeepers at the moment, so I think they'll keep topping and turning. They'll keep topping and turning. What's topping and turning? They'll keep changing. Until a point where someone really cements the top line. Johnson got better as the game went on, gave the ball away a lot at the start. I mean, he really did give the ball away a lot at the start. Finished the game looking, he just needs to play games, because he's gained experience. By the end of the game, actually, the final 2 blocks or interceptions, I think it was a header away and a clearance, were both Johnson. Actually, he deflected right near the end. They had a shot, and he deflected. He got in and made a block. Lovely block from Diop, by the way, in the game to deny them. There's some good defending there, and actually, I think all in all, the defence were decent. I think in particular the centre backs very good, and Aaron Cresswell. I'll tell you now, my man of the match. Really, really good, though. Really good. Just getting into midfield, I thought Souček again looked better again today, particularly in the first half where we were trying to break them down a bit. I thought him and Rice controlled the midfield really well. It was that final bit, almost a little bit like Everton. At Everton, I felt the little craft, the little final pass, the little ball through, we struggled with a little bit. Same again tonight, really. But that's fine. If we're going to score with set plays like we did at Everton today, then that's going to be absolutely fine, isn't it? I felt that, Lanzini tidy enough, probably the best passer of the ball in the team. But as I said at the start, the most effective player was, I felt, in the first half, or the player that most likely was going to create something, that could see the passes, that was inventive and looked sharp, was Yarmolenko. And this suited Yarmolenko, and I don't just mean because the pace was slower. This suited Yarmolenko because I don't know what we finished up in terms of possession stats, but it was looking at about 65% possession the last time I looked at it. When you've got that much possession, that sort of suits Yarmolenko. And look, without him scoring or did he even assist? No, I don't think he did. He did assist. Obviously, he won the tackle back. He won the tackle for the third goal. He still looked dangerous and he looked good. And you know, I think it's promising for the remainder of this European campaign, certainly. If nothing else, because just him playing there allows Bowen to play up front, and then it allows Antonio to have a rest. Managing the squad really, really well. Just trying to have a little think if I'm... oh, sorry, Vlasic. I was going to talk about Vlasic, wasn't I? Apologies. I felt he was a little bit better today. A little bit better. Just looking for him to gain some confidence. I feel a confident player. He had a chance, basically. He had a chance in the second half, and he clearly didn't want to kick the ball with his left foot, so he waited to move it onto his right foot to have the shot, by which time, you know, they defended it, they blocked it, deflected, whatever it was, but the opportunity had gone. They'd reorganised by that point. I feel a confident player would have hit it with his left foot, basically. So, well, look, hopefully he continues to improve. I guess that game was probably more competitive than we would have liked for Vlasic, because they were, for large parts of the game, quite competitive. So, yeah, you know what? A decent performance. I can say I'm not going to deal with the chat now. I can see people, obviously, you know, talking about Lanzini passing it backwards and all the rest of it. You know, I mean, I thought we did well. What can I say? I don't want to start moaning about Lanzini or moaning about anyone else, quite frankly. It's a 3-0 win in Europe. And, you know, I'm not... Listen, by the way, I'm not saying you're not enjoying it. You're just making comments that Lanzini was passing backwards. I thought we kept the ball ticking over. I thought it was fine. I just wonder with him, if him playing in central midfield and now playing as a number 10, has he almost forgotten to play as a number 10 to open things up? I actually thought he was better, funnily enough, once the substitutions were made, because it's almost as if Noble being on had sort of freed him up to be further forward. And he actually got through. He was more advanced in the last 20 minutes, wasn't he? And almost got through and he got very close to the goalkeeper, didn't he? Almost sort of nudged it past the goalkeeper. But, I mean, look, all in all, a decent performance. A decent performance. Competitive game, 3-0 win. Cannot argue with a 3-0 win for West Ham. You really can't. These are really good times. Really, you know, enjoy that. Enjoy it. And if you're in any doubt, go and look at some of the other results this season for other English teams in Europe. It ain't easy. It ain't easy to be on top of your group. You know, it's really not. It's not easy to win all games. It's not easy to keep clean sheets. There's a lot to be thankful for, and I'm really liking the way that David Moyes is rotating this squad. You know, it's a small squad, but I love the way he's rotating it. Scott, hope you're well, mate. Thank you very much, young man. Thank you very much indeed. Very kind of you. And I'll just say it again, because I know what it's like, you know, for these young players. Daniel Chesters and his family will be going through the internet tonight. They will be looking at every article. They'll be looking at every website. They'll be looking at every interview. They'll be looking at everything. It's a massively proud day for Daniel Chesters. And I would just like to say, if any one of his family or whatever do watch any one of these videos, congratulations, well done. So West Ham fans are all proud of you. We loved it how you went in for the tackles and you were committed, and would have loved to see you get on a little bit earlier, but that's great. And you know what? Well done to David Moyes for bringing on one of the youngsters. But if anything's said about him taking it, there was the sentimentality of bringing a youngster on for the experience, which was great. And we are very proud. We do love our young players at West Ham. Very proud of him there. But I think the very fact that he started with Souček and he started with Rice in the middle, and then actually when he really could have brought on Harrison Ashby, he could have brought on Chesters earlier, but he didn't. Just, you know, even the second round of substitutions, he still brought on Fornals and Ben Rama, just to make sure. That is a man taking the competition seriously. That is a man wants to win the group. I mean, he really does. And winning the group is just incredibly important, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest with you, because we don't have to have that ridiculous playoff with the Champions League teams. This is. I'll deal with this in a video tomorrow on the forum channel. We're going to get into Dreamland stuff here because we're looking like we might qualify for the knockout round of European football. That's crazy. If we win the group, we're in the last 16, and winning the group ain't dreaming at the moment. No goals conceded. 3 wins out of 3. Not bad at all. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Share it on your various platforms, devices, whatever the case may be. Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Give the video a share. Give it a like. Enjoy I was going to say enjoy the rest of the evening. The evening's over. Enjoy your day tomorrow. We can gloat a little bit.